Hi, I'm Jelena,
And I'm David.
and welcome to our YouTube channel.
Ta-ta-da!
Today, we're doing a tutorial on UTKATASANA.
Utkatasana translates as awkward pose or uneven pose, and sometimes they call it chair pose, but not an Ashtanga, right? So we're going to go through the vinyasa, and then we'll also talk about the state of the asana and how to do it. And we'll spend a little bit of time talking about the vinyasa in and out specifically, because it's a unique vinyasa.
Mostly out, because that's the
Into, though.
into, yeah, but out's quite tricky if you want it to be.
Can be flashy.
Yes. But before we do that, make sure that you follow us, that you comment, and that you maybe like our videos.
Please like us. Okay, here we go. So we're going to start in samastiti because we start with a sun salutation. This is a full vinyasa. So we go yekam, inhale, the arms up. Due, exhale to fold, hands down. Krini, inhale, the head up. Chatwari, exhale, go back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Pancha, inhale, upward dog. Shat, exhale, downward dog. Utkatasana. Sapta, inhale, jump into the state of the asana. Bend the knees, arms up, palms touch. And because it's the state of the asana, it has a drishti, which is angushtagrai, the tip of the thumb. 5 breaths here. Then ashtau on your inhale, hands down, rock forward, lift up. And nava, exhale, go back. Dasha, inhale. Yekarisha, exhale. That's it. Okay?
I didn't do the fancy.
No. You have options. We'll go over the options.
This is mid.
This is what? Mid option? Yeah, mid-range.
Mid.
Not super fancy, but kind of fancy.
A little bit, yeah.
Depends, yeah. I guess it depends how easily you're impressed. Okay, so Surya Namaskara, pretty basic. We have tutorials on those. But Jelena jumped from downward dog into the state of the asana all on the inhalation. And that's kind of unique.
Mm-hmm. And just to say, you can jump, but you can also step.
Of course.
But finish the whole movement on that inhale.
Yeah, or you can take many steps. You can walk into it, no problem at all. So an example of that would be sapta, inhale into Utkatasana. Same difference, right? One is just that you're putting weight into the hands. Yeah. The idea, though, with the vinyasa is that the breath is determining, where you begin and where you end the movement. So that inhale begins at downward dog and it ends in the full expression of the posture.
So it's a big movement, which means you really have to pay attention and kind of prolong your breath as best you can.
Yeah, I would try not to change the breath too much just for that one.
Well, it's already been kind of prolonged because you're controlling it. But I find that when we're doing movements like this, the jumping movements, we tend to make our breath even shorter than what it was just the vinyasa before. So then emphasizing the idea of prolonging it actually just keeps it more consistent. At least that's how my brain works.
Okay, should we look at Utkatasana then, what you're jumping into? So feet and knees are together and knees are bent. And the hips come back, arms are up and over, and the gaze is towards the thumbs, so the chin is lifted. So this is you can see it's a back bend in the spine, a light back bend, right? Jelena is an extension in the spine, but she's kind of doing the opposite work here in the hips. She's not really going into a deeper anterior tilt, which would be like really sticking the butt back. She's going to kind of contain, and she does that by, engaging through the lower belly, but also squeezing the legs together. That really activates the pelvic floor. Sits bones drop as she reaches up, and so she gets this nice long sort of stretching action through the spine. And the weight comes back into the heels. Good? I tried to talk quick because no one likes to hold Utkatasana for very
I'm
long.
already sweating. It's funny because you start to really use your legs in this one, so you feel that your heart rate starts to speed up,
Yeah.
even though it's, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Or at least it looks like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, but it is a hard pose. Things to watch out for would be coming too low or staying too high. So I see both of those a lot. Usually staying too high because it's easier. So not really bending, you know. Let the weight come back into the heels. Stick the bum back so you feel the legs start to work in the pose. Okay, get into that uncomfortable place. But don't go too low either. It's not really a squat. Okay.
And that's what you see when people go too low, then you see that the tips of the fingers don't really point up towards the ceiling anymore because you lose kind of that
ability
because your legs are too bent. So you want to focus on that, having your fingertips reaching towards the ceiling as you bend. So you find
Yeah. You know what I look for aesthetically is like a 40-degree, like a triangle in the leg. So if you bend again, you want kind of the even but opposite angle through the shin and the thigh. You know what I mean? So if Jelena went into a deep squat, you can see the angle's different here than there, right? And if she's not enough, then it's different. So we want to try to make it like a nice, well, I should really learn my geometric terms better. Like to, okay, got it?
yeah.
That's it. And then the vinyasa out. So this is kind of weird. So, here's something else, a little bit of nerdyism for the vinyasa counters. So sapta, we're inhaling into the state of the asana. That count sort of is the first of the 5 breaths. So that sapta inhale is the first of those 5 breaths that you hold in the state of the asana. So you go sapta, inhale into the pose, exhale, 1, inhale, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th exhale, you stay there. Don't come out of the pose on the 5th exhale. Finish the exhale. On the inhale, you do the vinyasa, okay? So you're in the state of the asana on sapta, and then you finish your 5th exhalation here. And then Ashtanga, inhale, keep the knees bent, hands down, rock forward, lift up. Here's the fancy one. Exhale, go back, Nava. Dasha, inhale, UTKATASANA, exhale. Okay, so that was pretty fancy.
That was fancy.
Yeah, she's surprised.
I don't actually do that. I'm rarely good in practice.
So there's this thing, so in Ashtanga, there's sort of infamously no handstands, where when we're doing these kinds of vinyasas, my teacher used to get crazy angry at me and a bunch of other people that would lift and hold in these postures. So we would come down, Ashtanga, and go inhaling and jump up and just stay there, like looking cool, And he'd say, no handstands. But he would also say, Ashtanga, inhale, up. And so I was, well, what do you want? He wants you to lift by bending the elbows. And so it's actually really hard to do. You have to keep your whole body connected together, your thighs close to your body, and then resist your arms as you bend the elbows and let the pitch of the shoulders coming forward lift the feet off the floor. So difficult to do. Requires so much connection and a lot of shoulder stability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so much fear that shows up here. It's like really funny. Fear that often leads you to laughing because you realize how ridiculous it is. Your hands, are on the floor and your face is not so far.
Still hurt to fall.
Yeah, I would, I guess. But that tipping of the weight forward into the bent elbows makes you feel almost like so helpless.
Yeah. You can try it. You can try it without being too crazy. So you go into your squat, put your hands on the floor, keep your knees bent so your hands are level, and then come onto your tiptoes. Lift your heels, keep your knees bent so your knees are against your chest. Now start to bend your elbows, and you'll feel a crazy amount of weight come into the fingers and the shoulders. And there you can start to feel the shake and the fear.
Actually, demonstrating that is almost harder
Yeah, it's a bit because you
than
stop.
because you
Yeah.
stop and you're holding it then
Yeah.
as you go through the whole movement.
It's a good exercise though. If you want to start to build the strength, you can go into that shape and then step or hop back from there.
And then also, when I repeat it one more time, watch where my hands are. So make sure you're not bringing your hands in line with your toes. The trick here to be able to do it is to let the hands come a little bit in front, and it gives you more space to tip into and feel that transfer of the weight. And if you can feel the transfer of the weight, there's like a safety in it rather than hands back and kind of, it feels more dangerous.
If the hands are behind you, well, you're already starting with so much weight forward.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So Ashtau, the knees stay bent, chest comes onto the knees. So see the hands are quite a bit in front of the toes and they're a little wider than the shoulders. And then watch this shift. So Jelena's going to start to shift, start to bend the elbows. Shoulders come forward and down. She comes off the heels and then keeps going down with the shoulders and head to eventually lift the feet. Yeah, it's hard to stop and go back in. That was good though. So you can always do like a little hop, as you're teaching yourself too. Eventually, you can make it very fluid and maybe eventually, I don't know, lift the feet up off the floor.
You can replay it and see it.
Slow-mo.
Slow-mo.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's
enough.
enough. It's a hard one, and we only do it once, really.
Yeah, once
in the whole practice. Actually, Virabhadrasana, the next vinyasa that shows up, has the similar pattern of lifting out of it in the final vinyasa by bending the elbows.
Yeah.
So it shows up there again.
We have a Virabhadrasana tutorial. It's in the playlist. It'll be following this one, Utkatasana, but we can also link to it here. And I don't know if the vinyasa is in there. I know that we did the alignment. We must have done the vinyasa too.
Probably. We can look it up.
Yeah. Okay, I hope it was helpful.
Let us know.
Okay, and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.